And I can only hope that I will say something that will motivate you, empower you, and inspire you to move into the next chapter of your lives with purpose and with power. I want to start by saying that who would have thought that a little po' boy, not poor, but a little po' boy from South Memphis, one of the poorest neighborhoods in Memphis, Tennessee. Who would have thought that I would be standing here today in front of such radiant individuals, giving a commencement speech? Someone whose life has been full of pain and struggle, heartaches and headaches, helplessness and homelessness. But through it all, my ashes have been turned into beauty. And that's what I want to speak to the graduates today about. Your ashes being turned into beauty. You know, life has a way of presenting itself to you. It has a way of challenging you. And it has a way of being unfair to you sometimes. And as I sit here and I see the beauty of those who are covered with the glowing elegance of your cap and gowns, as I sit here and see the fresh hairstyles on the heads of the beautiful women who strategically place their cap on their head so that their hair wouldn't mess up. As I sit here and see how some ladies are trying desperately to keep it all together so that their makeup won't mess up. As I see the men looking all cool and confident and braggadocious in their achievement, while all of the beauty, the confidence, and the swag that you possess on this day, and rightfully so, are being displayed front and center, I can't help but think about the ashes that you could have gone through to get here. I can't help but take you down memory lane through some possible moments, some possible ashes that may have clouded your calling, muddied your mission, and delayed your destiny. You see, it's moments like these, graduation ceremonies, that we should allow our minds to navigate through the struggle of what got you here and feel extra proud of yourselves to have made it this far. As I take you down memory lane, I can't help but use my own experiences in hopes that we have shared some of the same ashes that may have clouded our callings, muddied our missions, and delayed our destinies. You see, in the eloquent words of the great poet Langston Hughes, life for me ain't been no crystal stair. Most of us, if not all of us, at one point had to struggle just to have a little bit. As I attempt to give you a few of my ashes, I stand here today as a man who, when I first laid eyes on my father, I was 26 years old. I'm 33 now. So all of my childhood, I never got a phone call for birthdays. I never got Christmas presents. I never had a chance to talk to my father about father and son things, about male things. I never got to hear the words, "I love you" from a man. And the first time I laid eyes on him, he asked me for money to get drunk. The second time I laid eyes on my father, he was in a hospital because he had drank so much and he had did drugs so much that it caused him to be in the hospital. And he was unable to speak. So I never could ask him the whys of life. Why were you not there for me? Why did you forsake me? And the third time I saw my father, he was stretched out in front of a church, deceased. All three times in which I saw my father, it represented darkness, it represented negativity. And so, I stand here today as a man who have turned the ashes of fatherlessness into a father, into the beauty of a father who is taking care of all three of his children. I stand here today as the 5-year-old child. I stand here today as the 5-year-old child who saw my sister go through domestic violence at the hand of an abusive boyfriend. But I stand here today as a man who took the ashes of witnessing domestic violence and turned it into the beauty of speaking on behalf of women who deal with abuse, domestic violence, and shame. I stand here today as the son who saw his mother go through the ashes of welfare, had to receive food stamps to feed 4 greedy boys and 1 greedy girl. But through her perseverance, through her will and determination to be something better in life, she took the ashes of government assistance and she turned it into the beauty of a routing clerk who is now retired with 24 plus years of service at MLG&W. I stand here today as the great-great-great-grandson of a sharecropper, the great-great-grandson of a sharecropper, the grandson of a carpenter, but because of their perseverance through hard times in America, I was able to turn the ashes of their unfortunate circumstance into the beauty of an entrepreneur and a business owner here in 2016. I stand here today, graduates, as a human being who didn't think much of himself in his childhood. I stand here today with memories of being reminded of low self-esteem, memories of being reminded of very little self-confidence. But I also stand here as a man who took the ashes of low self-esteem and the ashes of low self-confidence and turned it into the beauty of an individual who has now found the place and the space within himself to love himself as himself, even if it means he has to do it by himself. You see, we all have a story, both male and female. We all have a history, a his story and a her story, a her story. We all have something that has happened to us, through us, and in us that can be used to inspire those around us. Find your voice, find your purpose, find your light, find your place in the universe, find your space in the world that was created by God just for you. So I say to you that you are given beauty for ashes because you did not allow your family feuds to stop your progress. You did not allow the scandals of your life to keep you down. There were times you may have felt like the walking dead after long days of work and then going to school, but you did not let that stop you. Through the times of the have and the have-nots in your life, you kept on pushing towards success. There were times when all of your children or even life itself made you feel like going into a general hospital, but somehow, some way in this one life to live, you allowed your guiding light to order your will, to command your spirit that you will not give up, you will not quit, and you will keep moving forward. So, I want to leave you with an encouraging reenactment of something that I learned at Lisa Nichols' Abundance Now Conference. And it is this, that after your graduation, many of you will go out into the world with a renewed sense of purpose, with a renewed sense of promise, and a reinvigorating power. But what I want us to remember is that life is going to come at us. The greater the success, then the harder the struggle. But I want us to remember that do not plan your life in a straight line. Do not plan your life in a straight line. So the motivational speaker that spoke at the conference, she said the mistake that some of us make after we succeed, we think everything else is going to go just like we envisioned it. So we plan everything in a straight line. Pay attention. She said we plan everything in a straight line. And she said when things don't go the way they should go, like the straight line we planned or we mapped out, then we become discouraged, dismayed, and we feel disenfranchised. But she said a straight line is not always good, depending on where you are in your life. She said when you're in a hospital and you're on a breathing machine, she said, what does a straight line mean? She said, it is only when you see some ups and some downs that you are now breathing. And so I want to let you know that if you're going to go through some ups and some downs, don't be dismayed, don't be disencouraged, don't be in disbelief, but just know that as long as there are some ups and downs, you are living this thing called life. So, as I take my seat, in the words of the late Maya Angelou to Oprah Winfrey, we all have been bought. You have been paid for. Your crown has been paid for. And your number one job here on earth is to wear your crown. Wear it beautifully. Wear it majestically and honorably. You must take your crown after you have finished giving it to the world. You must take it and give it to the next generation. How do you pass your crown down? You must know who you are in this world. You must take the time out daily to discovering and rediscovering yourself. More of yourself every single day. So Concord class of 2016, accept your beauty in the place of ashes. The world awaits you, and know that, in the words of Les Brown, that whatever good you're seeking is seeking you. And again with Les Brown, if you want a thing bad enough to go out and fight for it, to work day and night for it, to give up your time, your peace, and your sleep for it, if all that you dream and you scheme about life seems useless and worthless without it, if you gladly sweat for it, fret for it, and plan for it, and lose all your terror of the opposition for it, if you simply go after that thing that you want with all your capacity, strength and sagacity, faith, hope, confidence, and stern for tenacity, if neither cold or poverty, famish or gout, sickness or pain of body or brain can keep you away from the thing that you want, if dogged and grim you besiege and beget it, with the help of God, you will get it. Go out into the world, dream big, think big, and act big. Dream like you know God got your back. Think like you know that you know what you're doing, and live your life unapologetically. Light up the darkness. In a world where there's so much negativity on the news, the fact that you're standing here, turning your beauty from ashes, it ought to let you know that God has you. And with the help of those that's been placed in your life, you have nothing else to do but succeed. You have nothing else to do but to go up. Be great, find your purpose, and live your purpose. Thank you, and God bless you.